Welcome to the Gritcast, where we get into the nitty-gritty of all things hockey. From the East to the West Coast. Here are your hosts, Matt Pierce, Nikosh Ganguly, and Darius Dominguez.
Hello, people of all ages that are tuning in to episode number 13 of the Gritcast. We are back, another week with the fellas. Welcome back, my fellow co-hosts, Darius and Matt, to the show. How we doing today, gentlemen?
Not too bad.
Chilling. So, honestly, not the most eventful week in terms of hockey. There was some stuff that we're not going to touch on. Obviously, we had the whole Vancouver Canucks Rachel Doerrie thing, which is a legal issue. So I don't think that's really our forte.
Yeah, we're not lawyers.
Yeah, or like, know too much about the law. Personally, I don't know about you, Matt. If you're a law enjoyer, but me personally, not very knowledgeable on it. So we'll just get that out of the way right off rip. But to get into it, so the Leafs went crazy in November. It's December right now. They went crazy in November again. Matt Murray was amazing. Mitch Marner, pains me to say this, was also amazing. Just a good, great month coming off from another terrible October where there's probably recordings of me saying there should be some trades happening or something. I'm still on the trade Kerfoot train for what it's worth because they had an amazing month and Kerfoot had like 2 points. So very cool, gentlemen. So Darius, as a Leafs fan or a Leafs enjoyer, how did you feel about this month, and do you think they can carry it over similar to last season?
I think this month has shown what the Leafs are about. I think October, they start every October pretty poorly, especially last year. We saw it's the exact same thing as last year, although they're doing a little bit better statistically this year than last. But yeah, I think this month has really shown what the Leafs are about as a team, and obviously battling a lot of injuries right now. They're still winning games, and their goaltending, which coming into the season was the number one question mark, has been probably the only thing that has been stable, that has not been a question. So it's been nice to see, and I think they're going to keep rolling. We saw it last year. They're going to be a top team in the East, so it should be exciting to see down the stretch.
Yeah, and I think it changes the narrative completely on the team. As you know, winning fixes everything in all sports or in any, everything in general. So very cool. And yeah, Marner is currently on an 18-game point streak. I believe we play Saturday against Tampa is our next game. Or do they play tomorrow?
Saturday night against Tampa. Yep.
Yeah, Saturday night against Tampa. He can break a Leafs record, which would be pretty cool. Matthews is scoring a lot again. He's now on pace for 40 goals, which is, some people might say it's pretty low for him, which it is. But he was on pace for 32 a couple games ago. So he's scoring a lot more.
And can I just say, he's the third guy to score 30 goals or 60 goals in the last 15 years-ish, I guess.
Yeah.
And Ovi and Stamkos never did it again. So, to put this guy as a 60, people were saying at the beginning of the year, 60, 70
He was
goals.
penciled. He was penciled.
Yeah. It's kind of as long as he's playing well and he's, trying to improve his defensive game, 60 goals is great. But, as long as the team wins, that's really what we want here, right? He's got the 60-goal thing. He's done it.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I think it's interesting when you're seeing all his, quotes and stuff. He, very doesn't care, about scoring 60 goals. He's dude, I just want to win in the playoffs, which, I think that's a good mantra to carry around. But Leafs had a great month. I'm looking forward. It's a lot more fun when your team is good. I think Matt can speak to that a little bit later. But so it's been a fun month for the Leafs. As I said, Matt Murray's playing good. Samsonov came back, looked very good. Yeah. They're playing this well with Matt Hollowell and Victor Mete running the third pair every night, who have looked not bad, which I'm pretty happy with. It's been a while since the Leafs have had random AHL guys come up and be contributors, not be oh, this guy stinks, send him back down. So it's a nice change, a next man up thing, which the Leafs have never employed before, which is cool to see.
I think that was one thing Dubas was talking about at the end of the year, that coming into this year, at the end of the playoffs last year, he was coming into next season, when we call a guy up, he's got to give us something. Because last year, it was garbage. You're calling a guy up and he's useless, right?
Yep, exactly.
So they're actually providing that, which is nice. And Victor Mete has looked really good. Like
He's solid. He's solid.
Like not great. Like he's not like, oh my god, this is the best player ever. But like he's not making like too many mistakes. Like he's noticeably like doing the good things. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and even like a guy like Mac Hollowell, who's like, as long as the guys aren't like being noticed negatively, I can't be too mad about it. Like if I never noticed Victor Mete or Mac Hollowell, but I wasn't like, oh, they're playing bad, I wouldn't really care because they're serviceable players that can
They're
just,
doing their job.
They hop in the lineup. They don't do anything too negatively. They're not the best on the offensive side of the ice, maybe, but it's fine. Like when they're out there, nothing's really happening, which is cool. Like that, there's a job for that in the league. So that's cool. And then another thing is Jason Robertson, which I think is very interesting this year. I think everyone saw it last year because he was amazing, and then this year he held out, and he still got a very, very bad contract. I felt like you look at the way he's producing, and then you look at the way he produced last year. Yeah, I feel like he's like easily a double-digit player. I think he makes like 8.5 or something. So it's like nothing. And he was first star of the month. I think he had 26 points in like 14 games, which is wow. He's like climbing to the top of point leaders. That guy's like having a Hart candidate level season. So which is very awesome to see.
Dallas, Otherwise, Dallas is a very boring kind of.
I mean, dude, Jamie Benn Renaissance season. I think he's over point per game this year.
That too,
which is very interesting. And like Roope Hintz also just got his extension. So yeah, it's cool. I don't know, Matt, if you pay attention. I mean, no one really pays attention to Dallas Stars, but because you're in the Western Conference, maybe you see them a bit more. What have you seen from the Stars this year, if anything?
Not really a whole lot. I think the only games I've really watched with him besides the Oilers one where Jamie Benn lit us up was the controversial Hellebuck game against the Jets. Other than that, I've just been watching highlights, and like you said, Robertson, tremendous year. Ben, comeback year. Even with all of them, I don't find the Stars interesting whatsoever. They're just like a perennial boring team.
Yeah, I agree with you. Whenever there's a Dallas Stars headline, there's never really that much to talk about. Because like, what am I talking about? They're a high octane play. No, they're a boring team, but they get it done, which I can't be entirely mad at. And then like, Scott Wedgwood has given them good minutes. I don't even know who they're. Oh, Jake Ottinger, I think, is injured. So like Scott Wedgwood, dude, he's been really good. So I can't really be like too mad at that. So that's awesome for them. Good for Dallas Stars fans. Roope Hintz, he just locked in. What are you saying?
I took Robertson in my fantasy draft, but he hadn't signed the contract yet, and everyone was like, "Look at this idiot drafting Robertson in the second round." And I was like, "Oh yeah." He's ranked first right now. First.
Yeah, he's damn good.
Yeah,
damn good.
No, he's
really
good.
He's still underrated, I think, which is very interesting.
He hasn't even reached the ceiling. That's the scariest part. Like,
he's so young.
Yeah,
and it's like wow. Yeah, and then they locked up Roope Hintz. So Dallas has their core locked up for like decent amount of time. They have Heiskanen. Jake Ottinger's still young. The older guys like Jamie Benn, and I mean Jamie Benn's playing good, but like Tyler Seguin, I was kind of thinking he was gonna have more of a bounce back season. He hasn't really been that. I took him really late in fantasy. I was like sleeper, whatever, just maybe, but not really. But I don't know. Dallas is pretty cool. We'll see what happens. But on another end of things, over in Pittsburgh, unfortunately, Chris Letang actually had another stroke. I believe it was his second one, right? I think he already had one.
Yeah, when was for 2015 maybe?
I don't remember, but like,
I could be completely wrong.
But like, very scary for him. He said he's feeling great though, and he wanted to skate yesterday. I mean, that's just typical hockey player, right?
Yeah.
They just want to get right back on the ice. But I hope the Penguins take their time. The Penguins have they got to be careful with this because second stroke, obviously. Chris Letang, we all know he's not like the most consistent guy in terms of health on the ice and off the ice. So I think they'll take their time with it. They have to. And all the best to Letang. They said he's out indefinitely. And I think the Penguins have the guys in their room that can kind of like, get together. Because the Penguins have been like notorious for their next man up mentality, especially during like their cup runs. Like I've had like random dudes will just be like, all right, I'm just going to go, get 40, 50 points and be a contributor on the team. So I think they also have like a guy like Jeff Petrie, who's been in the situation before where he's like, penciled in as the number one guy, like PP1 minute eater on Montreal. So he can kind of, maybe take a bit of that role from Letang being injured. But yeah, all the best to Letang. I hope it's all good for him. He's also, he's getting up there in terms of age. So I just hope they take their time with it. And I don't know if you guys have anything to add about Letang in terms of the health there, but I just hope they take their time with it. Generally speaking, but the contracts deadline today, we had Alex Formenton, who has to sign his contract in the next 2 hours or less than 2 hours of recording this, or he won't be able to play. I don't know about you guys, but I don't think he's getting that contract.
It's a little too obvious to say that he's not getting the contract.
That contract.
Yeah.
For all purposes that we don't really need to explain at this current time.
Yeah, that he's not getting signed.
Yeah, he's not getting signed, guys, and it's not really a big story. And we were talking about this before the show. Really should be a big story. Why he's not getting signed? Senators have a lot of cap space. They're bad. They could use a player of his prowess in their bottom six. So there's obviously something wrong there. You guys can kind of put the words together there. If you're on Twitter at all, you know what's going on. But there's a reason he's not getting signed. So, it's unfortunate.
Shock Collins not going to pick him up. if he had the opportunity, per se.
Yeah, I don't know. It's dumb how it's not a bigger story. I think this should be we also kind of trailed off of I think the Hockey Canada thing is going through the actual judicial process currently, all that's happening. So it's kind of been a dead zone in terms of on Twitter when every day something crazy was coming out because the company is very, 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 very not good. So that's probably another reason why. But yeah, Alex Formenton not getting signed because
you can put it together.
Yeah, not the best guy. Not the best guy.
And the thing is too, it's kind of sad to see TSN provide all this coverage on Hockey Canada, and I was watching the World Cup on Sunday, and they threw commercials every commercial break during halftime for the World Juniors. Oh, get ready for the World Juniors, everyone! It's not like we're ignoring what's going on right now.
That was brutal, but
yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, though, the World Juniors team, low key, gonna be pretty stacked. Especially if
Shane Wright.
Shane Wright goes there. But that's a whole other story. I heard Dylan Gunther's gonna go play. A lot of guys are getting Connor Bedard, obviously.
Connor Bedard will be the star. Yeah.
As much as we hate Hockey Canada and everything they're about, I think everyone it's weird, but everyone turns on the World Juniors during Christmas time. Christmas finally wrapped. You're chilling. You're in that weird 3-day limbo period between Christmas Day and
Turkey
New Year's
coma.
Eve. Yeah, and New Year's Eve, where nothing happens apparently. It's just one long day. It's kind of weird, but yeah.
That is the weirdest time of year, actually.
Yeah,
unless
right?
you're in retail.
Yeah.
Then
unless you're
back
working
to normal.
Yeah, unless you're working in retail. But when I was back in school, that week in between is
it's so
the
weird.
Weirdest thing. Yeah.
Because
every day was a Saturday.
Yeah. It's because you have all your new stuff from Christmas, but then you're over the down period after Christmas is over because you psyched it up for 3 months and now it's over. So you have that 5 days where it's damn, bro. And then you get into New Year's and then it's whoa. It's just a weird. It goes by so quickly those couple days, but it's always fudging. But we did get a little bit off track there. On another note, I don't know if this contract was signed in the last episode we didn't talk about, but Peter, I low-key don't know how to pronounce his last name. I don't know, Matt, if you know. Kokachev?
Kokachev. I'm fairly certain.
Kokachev. Okay.
If I'm just taking it from when I remember when Jack Michaels was trying to pronounce it when the Oilers played the Canes, but I'm fairly certain, unless I'm completely wrong, it's Kokachev.
Okay, well, he got an extension, which was pretty cool there. Not a lot of experience for him in the NHL, but I think the Hurricanes believe in him after who's been injured? Freddie Anderson has been injured for them.
And then they have Antti Ranta, I'm fairly certain.
Yeah, they have Ranta, but Freddie Anderson is injured quite a decent amount, so he's a good insurance plan for them. He's been really good too. I can't really get mad at them for locking this guy up. And only $2 million really isn't that much. We just saw friggin' Kyle Peterson got put on waivers, and he makes $15 million, 5 years for 3 more years. So that should be a
who's LA's goalies then?
Jonathan Quick,
and I don't even know who their backup is.
Peterson was
I almost said Peter Budaj. I'm being so honest with you guys. I almost said Peter Budaj, but it's definitely not him. But yeah, good contract. I'm always of the opinion of like lock up your goalies when you can, but like don't overdo it. Like the Spencer Knight contract, for example, I feel like is like the situation is comparable. You have a young guy who played really good, but they give Spencer Knight a lot of money, and Bobrovsky is not been the best this year. So good.
I think the next in line, about LA Kings might be Jacob Ingham.
Oh,
Jacob Ingham?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's correct. Like somebody can. That's just what it looks like online because I don't see anyone else in between. So
on their cap friendly?
Who are their goalies with the Reign and the AHL?
It's him and I don't know. We
well,
don't have to spend that much time on it, but anyway.
They said they expected. It's Phoenix Copley. Phoenix Copley.
That's him. Okay.
Yeah, Phoenix Copley. Although Ingham would be pretty cool. Would be pretty interesting to say the least. But yeah, Koch. I don't know. I literally I forgot already how to pronounce his name. But
Piotr. Let's just call him Piotr.
Yeah, Piotr. Yeah, he gets his money, and I'm never gonna get mad at someone for getting their money, especially if they're not on my team and being overpaid.
That's
so
right.
Next up, Alex Galchenyuk. He signed another contract. This guy keeps a job, as they say. One of my favorite things to do. I took this from another podcast I was like going around the NHL. Like that guy keeps a job. Like Mark Stahl, for example, that guy keeps a job somehow. Like Eric Goodbranson keeps a job somehow. Like those guys just keep jobs, which is cool. And then Alex Galchenyuk got another contract with the Colorado Avalanche. He was at their training camp and they wanted to sign him. Then he got injured, so they couldn't sign him. Then they waited till he was like fully healthy, and now they give him another contract. I don't know where he fits in Colorado, but they did lose some guys in the offseason. So I guess they're hoping maybe he can, just like every other team, maybe he can score 20 goals again. Which, guys, I regret to inform you, might not happen.
Probably won't happen.
So every team that gets Galchenyuk goes, I can fix him, and then they can't fix him, and then he goes to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much how it goes. But I think there's something to be said about how his career started.
Mm-hmm.
That set him on this path.
Wasn't he not that bad with the Leafs, though?
No, he was. But what I mean is, he could have been so much more if he wasn't misused in Montreal, I think. The whole time. Like, he should have been a center. Then they're playing him on the wing, and then they're moving him up and down lines, and then they're like, "Oh, you're a third liner." Like, no, man, this is your third overall pick. What do you mean he's a third liner, right? Like,
yeah, and it's like he had 30 goals that 1 year, and then they just never seem to build off of it.
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just kind of sucks. And there was a lot of off-ice things with Galchenyuk, which was just super unfortunate. But I don't. I hope he does well because I honestly liked him. I liked him in Toronto. He did have that colossal giveaway to Nick Suzuki, and Cole Caulfield for 2-on-0 in overtime, which I can never ever forgive him for. But I can't really, because I thought he was generally good as the second line left wing in Toronto. Like I thought he was fine. So
got a good playoffs until that.
Yeah, and then I remember I picked him up in fantasy near the end of the year because he was playing. He's playing pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I think there's something there.
Yeah, I think there is something there. Maybe never a top 6 forward ever again, but there's nothing wrong with a little bit of secondary scoring. Also, just give the guy a try. If it doesn't work, throw him on waivers. We see that all the time. Like the Flyers did it with Kiefer Bellows today. They see a young guy who might have been good at one point. Try him out. If it doesn't work, put him back on waivers. It's fine. There's no harm, no foul there. So cool. We'll see how he does. Maybe it'll be a storyline, although it likely won't be. But in the Leafs game yesterday, they retired the reverse retros after what would have been
2 games.
2 games of playing. Which is, I don't know how you guys think about that, but one question I did want to ask you guys is, now that you've seen a lot of the reverse retros on the ice, and from the advertisements we got, have your perceptions changed on any of them, or do you still feel the same of how bad Chicago's and Detroit's are, for example?
Darius, I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. So the Leafs played Detroit the other night, and they were wearing them, and they look a lot worse than we even thought. I think they're even worse. With the pants and the socks. They look horrendous. Chicago's actually look a lot nicer to me with everything.
Oh, yeah.
Again, they're actually quite nice with the whole uniform. I actually kind of dig them a lot. Although, but they're selling these jerseys as jerseys, right? So it's whatever. But on the ice, yeah, those two, stand out to me on either end of the spectrum. But also the Leafs ones, those should be their home and aways. with the white shoulder patches and then like swap them to the white one too. They're really nice. Washington's by far the best, I think. Still, like they were nice just as the jersey, but with the whole uniform, like those are sick. Yeah, Buffaloes are nice, like the all white. I kind of like it. Not gonna lie, I used to be like a very like traditionalist with the white gloves and stuff, but it's kind of grown on me. Like I think Vegas did a good job with it, so it works in Buffalo too. So those are a few that stand out to me at first.
At Chicago, there was the all reverse retro matchup they had with Boston, and I feel like I should see a whole lot more of these like reverse retro matchups, not just one team wearing their regular uniform. Seattle, the one game they had against the Jets, I loved Seattle's reverse retro, like the whole outfit with the teal and such. Some people, that's one where you love it or you hate it. You can't really be in between. Vancouver's, I've sort of warmed up since it was first leaked a few months ago. I want to say in like September. Calgary hasn't worn those yet. Who am I thinking of? Carolina, rather boring because it's just a red version of their current away jerseys.
Oh, Carolina's is awful. Yeah, no, that's a crap jersey.
And it's like they had those jerseys, and then they had the 25th anniversary ones for the anniversary season. I like those a lot better than their reverse retro, but mostly because it's their retro uniform in the Adidas template. Just going off the top of my head here, I'm not too sure what other teams I've seen them in play.
I think you mentioned Boston's, and I didn't mention it, but Boston's look great. Yeah, they look great. They're really nice.
Did you guys like the whole Vegas gimmick between like the gold and dark stuff?
I do like that. Yeah, they're one of the few teams that went 2 for 2 on reverse retros.
Yeah. I enjoyed Vegas.
I don't like the diagonal writing, like except for New York, right? Like because obviously, but Vegas is somehow like I don't hate it, which like credit to them. And the glow in the dark thing is, I think anything Vegas does, like if I don't know, Carolina did glow in the dark, I'd be like, screw these guys, you know? Like I don't want to see this. But like Vegas does it, and it's like, ooh, Vegas, you know? There's just something about it. But anyway, I think they pulled it off. Vegas, I like it.
Yeah, and I think it's dumb how like they promote the hell out of them and they barely wear them. You know what I mean?
Especially the Leafs ones. 2 games.
And like Matt, like you said, I would love more reverse retro versus reverse retro matchups. I think it's stupid to just have one team winning them. Like put them against each other. I think that would be very sick. And I think the NHL rarely does jersey promotion nights right. Like they're just so behind on it. Like I love when the NBA does it. I mean, we're comparing apples to oranges when you compare the NBA to the NHL in terms of market. I think we did this in another episode. Definitely. But it's unbelievable how poor you can be when it comes to jerseys. And like you promote them so much, you put out all these videos, all these Instagram posts, and honestly, they don't even do a great job of promoting them like anyway. And then they wear them for 2 games. Like there's no hype around. And it's like when they wear them, it's just like another game. You know what I mean? There's no like I feel like whenever like for example, in the NBA when the Detroit Pistons were those like baby blue jerseys. I don't know if you know the ones I'm talking about.
Yep.
But it feels like it's more of like an event. Like when they're not just wear their OVO jerseys, like they change the court, they change like their profile picture, they change the outline of their tweets. The NBA account tweets about it and all that stuff. Like it's really cool. It's like an event to be at one of those games.
I want to say it was Buffalo. Oh, I can't remember who it was, but I was watching highlights the other night. Someone was wearing their reverse retros, and when they scored, you know the LED like ring around the arena. They had like the old fashioned kind of like it said goal, but it was kind of like the old fashioned scoreboards.
So that's cool.
See, that's cool because it makes you feel like you're, you know, like the
whole point of them.
Old,
the whole point of them.
Yeah, exactly. So like that, I want to say it was Buffalo. I can't remember though, but stuff like that. That's cool. Black out the jumbotron, you know.
And going back to the jersey promotions, the beginning of the month it was Pittsburgh, Buffalo. Both teams were wearing the reverse retros for the first time, and I didn't even know about it until I was scrolling through Twitter and I saw a highlight of the game. It's like you spent all this time promoting the reverse retros, saying, "Oh, these are cool," you know, the second edition, and then you don't even tell us when the teams are wearing them for the first time.
Now, on the other hand,
it's so stupid.
On the other hand, they just announced the Winter Classic jerseys. I know it's different from the reverse retro.
Oh, they did? They did?
Yeah, you didn't see them?
No.
That's the main point of this. But anyway, they released them, and I saw them on Instagram, some account, and my first reaction to the jerseys was like, oh, cool. Jerseys for an outdoor game I didn't know was happening.
I see them now. Oh, Boston's playing in it?
Yeah, in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's at Fenway.
But I didn't even know that game was happening, let alone the jerseys being released, you know?
Ooh, Pittsburgh's just kind of cool.
Yeah, it is kind of
Yeah, with the P.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the Pirates.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Boston's looks like they've done this jersey 7 times before. So it's not that. As you guys know, I'm very indifferent on jerseys. You know what? Maybe I'm indifferent on jerseys because the NHL just does a piss poor job of promoting them. Like in the NBA, I tend to care about jerseys more. I don't know because there's more stories behind it.
They
or,
do
like,
a whole thing though.
headlines and
Like
stuff.
the Pistons will wear an old school jersey and they'll have like Isaiah Thomas there in the arena to do like a TV spot. You know what I mean? Like make it like a whole thing. So I don't know. They just don't make it a thing.
This is like a whole other rant, but like it's the retail aspect because they promote these jerseys. Oh, you can buy these, and then like for some teams like the Capitals. The Capitals was like the main one, like very limited run, and then these jerseys turn into like rare Jordans where they're on the reselling market for like $700-800, and it's not even like an on ice version. It's the retail version. So this is a license to print money, and the NHL is like, well, no, we don't really want to make money. We'll just make one run, and that's it. It's the same thing for the first edition, and it didn't learn their lesson.
I honestly think this might be the last reverse retro because they've
Aren't
done
they
it.
switching?
Yeah.
Are they switching like to a new company?
Next
they haven't said
year,
that. Like
yeah.
Have they said that Adidas won't renew? They've said that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going
In
somewhere
reverse
else.
retro, it's probably like an Adidas trademark. So
Yeah.
the next
That's right.
jersey supplier, jersey maker probably they'll probably do something similar where like a throwback uniform, but it won't be like the actual reverse retro.
No, it'll be something else. Yeah.
Because there's some teams where they're very limited on designs that they can do, like Montreal or New Jersey, because you can only twist that jersey in a different variation so many times.
Yep,
That's true.
You're right. Yeah, it's dumb. One thing I did want to touch on before we get into our rap question here is I want to talk about the Jack Edwards Patrick Maroon thing a little bit. It's like I don't know how Jack Edwards is still like employed. I get he's the Homer Boston guy, but like I get you're a Homer. Look, when you're the local announcer, it's like you're supposed to be a Homer because the local people are watching. It's like when people say Joe Bowen's a Homer. I'm like, yeah, he's on the Leafs radio. He's on the Leafs radio, of course. I know a lot of people beg for him to be on TV. That guy's not wouldn't be on like Sportsnet national broadcast because he's a Homer.
That's
He's a
that's the
Homer.
problem with the Leafs though, because they only have national broadcasts. If they had regional broadcasts, then maybe he would be on TV, but they don't have that because like Vancouver has their guy, Edmonton has their guy, right?
Exactly. No,
So-
and that's fine. I'm okay with Homers being in regional broadcast because the region the team is in is watching it. That's fine.
Makes sense.
But with Jack Edwards, it's like, come on, bro. Like, why are you making fun of the guy? Like, inherently, it's like,
What do you know? What did he say exactly? Because I know the story, but I don't know what.
I'm pretty sure he was just like fat shaming him.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. Said something about like fasting for Maroon is like eating a pizza every 4 hours.
Oh
It was so
my
stupid.
God.
Yeah.
It's like, Jack, buddy, call the game. Like, he only seems to call the game when he's bored. Otherwise, he just tells stories with Andy Brickley. Nothing more, nothing
He
less.
strikes me as like a lot of like Joe. I'm a Leafs fan, so I'm going to use Joe Bowen as an example, right? But Joe Bowen's like excited that the team has scored and is winning, and he's bringing the energy because the people who are listening to him are also fans, right? So he's conveying that energy. Jack Edwards, to me, it comes off as somebody who thinks he's like in the game. You know what I mean? Like he thinks he's on the ice with the guys. You know what I mean? So he's like chirping players, but it's like you are broadcasting the game. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and Sportsnet seems to broadcast like a whole lot of Bruins games on NESN nationally.
Yeah.
And it's like, whenever I see the Bruins on Sportsnet, oh, cool, the Bruins. And then I turn on the game, oh, it's Jack Edwards. And then I find another game to watch. It's just, he doesn't, the goal of being a play-by-play commentator is to make the game interesting and to provide a solid sound and image to when you're watching. And Jack Edwards does nothing of that. He just provides random anecdotes and he tries to make himself sound funny, but he's actually not. Like, sure, okay, you made yourself laugh, but not everybody else is laughing. You don't really need to ramble on about stupid stuff.
Yeah, and I think that comment, while in the moment might, to him seem funny, but it could affect a lot of people. And the fact that Maroon is now donating on behalf of Jack Edwards is pretty hilarious.
That's a power move on like how to
that's good on
It's
Pat
very
Maroon.
cool.
I don't like Pat Maroon just because of like, it's not that I don't like him. Like I'm sure he's a great person.
You hate him because he's not on your team.
Exactly. It's like Nazem
Yes.
Kadri for other. Exactly. Thank you. But like, the fact that he did this like just makes me like, I'm like, I like this player now. You know, like I like him.
Yeah.
Like I'll root for this guy.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
All I have to say is Big Rig forever. I love the guy, and I still will love the guy.
Remember when he was on New Jersey? That was a weird time.
Oh, I forgot about that. That is weird.
Hold on. Quick trivia. How many teams has he played for?
Do you know
New
the
Jersey,
answer?
New Jersey, Anaheim,
Edmonton,
Tampa.
Do you want me to bring
Philly.
it up?
Wasn't he also a Flyer?
Ooh, he was a Flyer for a bit.
in St. Louis too, because that's when he won his first cup.
Hold on. I'm bringing it up. Well, okay.
I think you got that, Matt.
So, Matt, go ahead. We'll go with yours.
Oh, in order?
Not in order. Just who you
Okay.
played for.
Well, I'll go in order just to flex. I'll go Anaheim, Edmonton. Then he was traded to New Jersey, then Philly, then St. Louis, then Tampa.
Nick?
I think he's right.
He's not.
Oh, the only one I wasn't sure of is if he went to New Jersey or Philly, then New Jersey.
So he's never played for Philly.
He
What?
didn't play for Philly?
Did he play for Dallas?
No, he went to Edmonton and then straight to New Jersey.
Wait, what am I?
For some
thinking
reason, I could see him in that black and orange Phillies uniform, Flyers uniform. I don't know why.
Not from what I'm looking at.
I don't know, because I remember Anthony Stolarz was an Oiler, and he came to us from Philly, and I forgot what the
Was that a different trade?
It was Talbot for Stolarz.
Oh, okay.
That's what it was.
Okay. Pat Maroon did play for the Philadelphia Phantoms.
Okay. All right.
Not bad, man.
Not
bad.
So
Not bad, man.
That's impressive that you like said Philly though.
See, there's a whole bunch of
there's
a bunch of Shirley trades that I just like forgot about.
Except the Hall one. No one forgets
block
that
them
one.
out.
All right. So with that being said, we'll get into our little wrap question here, as always. Follow us on socials, TikTok, follow our individual Twitters. Show all the love, 5 stars if you enjoyed it. Follow, like the TikToks. It's a lot of fun. Doing all that for Darius because I just post them. Guys, who do we think when we look at the NHL today, December 1st, 2022, when we get to the playoffs, who are going to be 2 surprising teams? One team who falls off the face of the earth, and one team who's maybe not the greatest right now, but they pick it up. Matt, I'll defect to you first.
Okay, so for one team that kind of drops off, I didn't have them making the playoffs in our season preview, and I'm gonna go with the Islanders.
Ooh.
Mostly because Sorokin, I think he's very good, but it's just the team in front of him that has to sort of perform. It's a lot like with the Rangers. Like they're only good as Shesterkin will carry them. And then one team that will sort of surprise, I think Calgary picks it up because they're currently sitting in the second wildcard spot. And that's my pick, even though they're not as low in the rankings as, the question suggests. But I'm going to go with the Islanders and Calgary.
Well, for the question, I didn't mean it like as, a bottom feeder team coming up, making the playoffs and winning the cup or anything. It's just kind of like someone who's stumbling that might surprise, right? For mine, I'm going to move to the West for both of them. I like that Calgary pick, Matt. It's a good pick. But I'm going to say that Seattle stumbles here. They might fall a little bit. They might fall out of the playoffs. I'm not a huge believer in Seattle right now. I think they've had a good start, but I could see them stumbling. And I think St. Louis surprises. I think St. Louis is going to make the playoffs, maybe even in a divisional spot.
Yeah, and honestly, I like the Seattle pick. They've been riding Martin Jones for a while, and he hasn't been very good for a while. But
which is a crazy thing to say in 2022.
They're a good story right now. I think maybe they fall. I don't know if they missed the playoffs just because of how good they are right now. But it is a long season. They can maybe fall to a divisional spot. And I think in my season predictions, this is a little bit off topic. I said the Oilers would be beat out the Kings in the standings. And right now, fellas, I think they're one game better. They're actually not. They have less wins and they're ahead in the standings with 2 games in hand. So shout out my Kings on a technicality. You feel me? So
They've also played 2 more games.
Yeah, exactly. So honestly, you guys had really good picks. I don't know. Okay, team that I think will start to pick it up, the Florida Panthers. At some point, I don't think they'll be worse than Detroit Red Wings. That's
a good pick.
Yeah, Matthew Tkachuk has been playing great. Barkov's been playing great. Paul Maurice really isn't a good coach, so I don't know why they did that. And like they're low-key, when I think about it more, I'm kind of counter argumenting my own point, but I still think they're better than the Red Wings at the least. And then team that I think will fall off a little bit. I honestly don't know who to choose. I think you could see a team like, I know Matt picked the Islanders to make the playoffs. I think the Islanders could also, on the other hand, fall off a little bit because you said, so when you live and die by your goalie, I feel like as most teams kind of do, it's not always the best thing. But I'll go with the safe pick and I'll say I don't think the Devils are going to be on a 19-4 pace the entire season. They'll definitely make the playoffs, but I feel like the Hurricanes are a team that could definitely overtake first in the Metro at some point. And then the Rangers, well, Chesty has been so underwhelming that you got to think he'll regress to the mean at some point and play good again. So I didn't really give 2 teams there because you guys honestly picked the best picks. So that there's my jumbled answer there. But with that being said, I do want to actually touch on this just for fun. So me, Matt, and Darius, we play NHL a little bit. Usually after the show, we hop on for like an hour or 2. And right now in NHL 3v3, just because ESHL, it's a lot of fun. We're currently 28-1, which is it's pretty cool. We're not bad. I'd say we're not the greatest, but we're not the worst.
What's the streak we're on? 16? No?
I thought it was 18.
Oh, the well.
Something like that. Like, I don't know. We're just playing really good. It's a lot of fun. And, when you're winning, as I said, it makes the game a lot more fun. NHL 23 inherently, not a great game. But we're playing, like, every year, it takes a little bit for us to adjust to the new mechanics a little bit. And now we've kind of figured out, how to play. And it's more just, especially on defense, just, knowing where to stand, as Mike Babcock would say. So it's been a lot of fun. But with that being said, I do want to say, listening to this in the day, please enjoy your day. If you're listening to this at night, enjoy your night. And if you're driving while listening to this, once again, I say this every episode. It's going to start snowing soon, a lot more. Where Matt is, it's probably snowing every day because he lives in wherever he lives. So, always drive safe, get your winter tires on, check your blind spots, do all that fun stuff. But, follow us on socials. And shout out my co-host for joining me. And we'll see you guys next week, ideally. Peace out, everyone.
Thanks for watching and listening to the Gritcast. For more content, visit our YouTube channel and check us out on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to follow the guys on social media at Matt_Mondays, at Nick LaFlame, and at Darius Dominguez.